Do 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 do. Yeah. Hey everybody, this is LVAO Toro, the Fancy Action Now, and I saw Phil talking about um let me see if I can get this down just a little bit. I saw that Phil Spencer came out and did a press release on the Bethesda ZeniMax deal. So you have to remember Bethesda was in financial straits. They created ZeniMax to administer to Bethesda in kind of a scheme to save the company in a way. And then the guy that started that, he got bought out and shoved out. And you know what I have to say is that Bethesda's history, the games are beloved, but as a business, they have never been very good at staying liquid. Like a lot of studios, good times when they release a game that goes over, bad times otherwise. It's feast or famine at Bethesda. And right now, they're being acquired during a famine period, which was bound to happen. They tried to stave off the famine with Fallout 76. It was a stopgap. It was an emergency measure. It was released in a terrible state. And again, Bethesda was trying to become a public company, and they were emulating EA. So if you wonder why Fallout 76 was such a shit show, it was because they were trying to emulate EA. They took business practices. They stopped being Bethesda, which even though they're quirky and feast and famine and stuff like that, it kind of worked for them. And then they tried to jump up and be EA. And EA is far larger than Bethesda. Far larger. They're also far better at the business side of things. They really are. They let the studios do their thing. They're like a holding company for studios. And they just come in there and turn the screws when they need to get people to get their product out. So in a way, that's why they're better, because they don't get into the studio drama. They basically set goals and they say, okay, we're talking to you. You're telling me 2 years, 2.5 years, I have a product ready to market. And they come, they basically will take over that studio and start managing it if they can't meet their goals. A lot of their studios get sandbagged because they set goals with EA and they can't meet them. Now, whether EA is reasonable or not, or whether people are padding their estimates or underestimating costs or time or whatever. But again, it's EA basically acquires development houses and oversees them. And they're quite good at it. They're quite good at what they do. And they think nothing of saying, this is an albatross, you're not showing any revenue, you're not meeting your goals, boom, done. That's what a corporation that is run by a board does. Because what EA looks at is, okay, you're going to impact our earnings for the next year and a half if we give you the time that you've asked for. That is going to impact our shareholders and drop our share price, which is going to slow the amount of investment that we're generating. And it's going to make us look bad on the books. People are going to drop us out of their hedge funds and of their mutual funds. Hey, it's better for us to cut you loose. Oh, we're going to piss people off? Well, that's fine. We'll go get this studio that's just developed and we threw a little money at. They've got a game that's ready to go to market in 6 months. That's how the game is played at EA. Bethesda had a lot of really good IP, but they are not good at generating that consistent revenue. So they took a page from the playbook of EA, they slapped it on a game that wasn't ready for market, and hoped that the fans would just love it because they got multiplayer Fallout. Even though it was a completely incompetent mess. And it continues to this day. And they keep hitting the nail. Oh, here's another release. Here's Firestorm. Here's this. And they kept trying to revitalize it because they don't have anything ready for market. If you don't have a product ready for market, you are not relevant in video games. The attention span of video gamers is very short. And EA knows that. They had the shit show with Battlefront. What, 1 year later? Boom, here's The Force Awakens, right? Or whatever it was. The single player game. Straightforward, no fuss, no muss, fan service. They're going to love it. We're going to keep the transactions out of it. We're going to start winning back our brand, winning back our contract with Star Wars and Disney, winning back some of that goodwill that we just completely decimated. They've done it a dozen times. EA has done it a dozen times. They know what they're doing. And then they're going to come out with Squadrons. They're going to take what the best of Battlefront 2, or the most favorite thing of Battlefront 2. Again, they're looking at all the statistics. Where do people spend their most time? If they spend their most time in space and doing space battles, boom, we'll do just a space battle game. And we'll do it like over the top. Squadrons is going to destroy. I'm buying Squadrons. This is a guy who's banned EA for the last 3 years. I will buy Squadrons because it looks like it's going to play amazingly, and they've gotten rid of all the bullshit. They've gotten rid of all the bullshit. And I'm sure there'll be a little bit of bullshit in there. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of an opportunity to spend a little money in there. I don't doubt it one little bit there, Brody, bro. But don't care, underwear. That's gonna be a cool experience. Without the social justice BS, which is getting tired anyway. Everybody's freaking tired of it. It's old. It's passé at this point. Goodbye. We go through these periods all the time, and it's just like, oh, bro, okay, whatever, bro. Go ahead and be angry for like 5 years, and then you'll tire everybody out with your nonsense. But they have won it back, and they have created additional streams of revenue. Their other single-player game, what is it? Is it the Force Awakens? I forget. It's the Force Awakens. I forget what it is, but or the Jedi. Oh God, I forget what it is, man. I don't even remember what that game is called. It's like, I'm sorry, but it's like the Jedi. I don't know, but they're still making money on that mother. So, I mean, they're back in the game. I told you. They're going to come out with a couple of fan-focused, gamer-focused games. Boom, and they're back in the game. And the license will be reaffirmed. And Disney will come out at the end of the year, after the turn of the year, and be like, hey, we're really glad with what's going on with EA right now. They really took it in a good direction. And they're back in it. They're back in it. They're back in it, man. They're back in it. They're back to making video games that people actually want to buy and play. Okay? Bethesda cannot compete with that. Cannot compete with that level, with that book of IP. They have a good book of IP, but that is a fraction or a small percentage of the IP and level of development that goes on at EA. It is. Now, maybe it's 50%, maybe it's 20%, whatever it is, EA is a much bigger monster than Bethesda and ZeniMax will ever be. And ZeniMax and Bethesda aren't run well. They're run decently, I would say, but they just got acquired, but they aren't run well. They don't know how to maximize their business model. They hold on to old practices, which probably has a positive effect on the level of craftsmanship of their games. But they don't manage the business side of things very well. They're not very good at the reality of, hey, your one product from last year, fourth quarter, okay? Last year, November. Remember that? Last year, November, till now, they don't have a product. Well, except for the online thing, which they don't develop directly. They get a piece of it. They don't get all the profit from that. So the only thing that they've had since November of last year is Fallout 76. And that fucking wrecked them. That wrecked them. They didn't have any. That was their one trick pony. That was what was going to carry them through until they had another product ready for launch. And because of the problems with the engine, they can't slapdash it like they used to. There's too many layers in the legacy system for them to produce a game quickly and with a decent level of quality. They can't do it. They're in a cul-de-sac of their own making. Again, they should have been innovating their engine back in 2006. So they've taken a decade and said, let's just keep on rehashing Skyrim. Let's keep on. I mean, again, why haven't they come out with a remaster of Oblivion? Private people are doing it. Why haven't they come out with a remaster of Morrowind? Why haven't they come out with a trilogy? There's so many things that they could have in the pipe for the fans, and they don't. How about a remaster of Daggerfall? I think people would line up for that shit. I really do. They can't do it. They can't do it. I mean, again, they can't even get Fallout 76 to freaking work, and they're still hammering on that thing. I mean, it's pathetic. It's pathetic, man. So I want to, wow, that went off into a crazy rant. So I got other things to do on this day, but I wanted to check out Phil Spencer and what he has to say about this acquisition. I mean, I got to tell you, that when I watch Spence doing business, I don't know if I would really like the guy. I've never met him. I can't say I would like him or dislike him. I think I'd like him, but this is the kind of guy. This is what I'm going to say about Phil Spencer. This is my final word about this guy. And this, from me, coming from me, is high praise. Is high praise. Is when that guy wakes up in the morning, before he even turns over and looks at his trophy wife and her shape under the sheets, he's like, my brand. When his eyes open and he looks at the ceiling, he's like, my brand. My brand. Where's my brand? Where's my brand at? What's going on with my brand? I got 10 things I want to know right now. And now I have to go and see how quickly I can get that information. That is Phil Spencer, baby. That guy is the t-shirt, leather jacketist wearing guy, and he's like, yeah, hey, buddy, backslobber, how you doing? Great. How's the kids? Yeah, it's fantastic. You know, the video games and everything. It's great. Oh, we love it, Bethesda. We're great. You're part of the family. Meanwhile, as soon as he's off camera, he's like, where's my brand at? I asked for follow-ups. I asked for 5 follow-ups, and I haven't heard anything. I've been off camera for 5 minutes. Where's my brand at? Where's my brand at? What are my sales? We just launched. What are my overnight sales? Again, that is this guy. That guy, the friendly, jocular, smiley, backslapping. Yeah, gosh darn it, we just love video games. And then he's off camera going, where's my brand at? I'm telling you, I was this guy. I would wake up and go, where's my brand? I wonder how my brand did. I wonder how my sales did last night. I wonder what the customer feedback is right now. Maybe I'm going to run another survey of the call center and see what they think. Maybe I'm going to take a look and do an analysis. Maybe we're going to do a 90-day analysis of where my sales are at and where I'm trending. I mean, that is this guy. This guy gets up, his eyes crack open, and he wants to know where his brand is at. He wants to know. He doesn't think, I'm doing a really good job, and I know we're going to... He wants to get up and go, yeah, baby, thanks. I'm going to have a cup of coffee. Let me check this real quick, and then I'll give you a kiss goodbye. You know what I mean? Yes, that's him. That's him. He's a happy guy. He goes out, he goes fishing, he goes on vacation, he charters catamarans and puts his wife in a bikini and puts it right on the front bow with a mimosa and go, baby, I hope you're having a good time. And meanwhile, he slips back and gets on his freaking phone. He's like, where's my brand at? Where's my brand at? That's him. All right, let's roll this.
I first want to ask about this. How will these
look at
ZeniMax
look at him. Look at him. He's like fit to be
Xbox
tied.
Your Game Pass momentum.
He's like, this is, I'm winning. Look at him. He's like,
I mean, gamers love great games. You just mentioned we've got
we love the gamers.
Going on pre-order tomorrow for the next generation. Just
Boom!
We added.
He's like, we're on pre-order now,
so
baby.
people can play this Game Pass library across all of their phones, the Android phones out there. And then obviously Game Pass.
He's a walking commercial for the whole line, bro.
15 million subscribers and growing. So getting to work with ZeniMax to bring their amazing collection of games to Game Pass is just an incredible opportunity for us.
Now, financially, when...
All right. I have to stop it there. What did I just say? I have never seen this before. What did I just say? He's going to come out. He's going to be like, we love the gamers. It's our opportunity to work with Bethesda. Again, they own them now. It's like, yeah, we're just going to go and have a potluck lunch and to talk things over and see what we can do. Meanwhile, he's like, I want a disclosure of all their financials. I want to know where all the projects are. I want to know where every game is from a development perspective. I want our takeover team to understand how quickly we can get every one of these things to market. We have launched. I mean, he is like, we have just launched our new consoles for pre-order, and we've just acquired Bethesda. Meanwhile, the entire gaming industry is like, ah! Okay? Did you see the look on his face? He's like, his face is actually trying to explode around his mouth. He is like trying to contain the power. He's like, and this guy wants to know how much better his launch is going to do over the other jackhole who sabotaged the Xbox One. He wants to know, I want to destroy. This guy is on launch, bro. This guy doesn't leave his PC. He doesn't leave his phone. He takes it to the bathroom. He craps this shit. He does. He craps his business. He's got his phone right there with a rolling update of pre-order sales. I mean, he is on an informational, just this vortex of data to drive his brand. He's like, what else can we do? I want real-time updates on manufacture. We're out of our pre-orders. I want more pre-orders loaded within 24 hours. I want a real-time update on where we're at in production. I want regional sales numbers. I want demographic numbers now.
Will this be accretive? Are you making cuts to this company as you acquire it, or are you going to leave it alone?
Our plan is to leave it alone. I mean, ZeniMax has an amazing track record of building great games. Our goal is to make ZeniMax the best ZeniMax they can be, working individually with their studios on the great platform technology that we have, getting their creators' feedback into the things that we need.
Okay, what he's telling you right there, and again, you can always get information off of these guys, even in this like polished press release. He crafted this shit. Somebody crafted it for him and he edited it. That's how I was too. I was like, that we had people that would do certain things, and sometimes I would just draft it, for on-air TV, or for mailing material. Sometimes I just write it myself. I had my boss come in, senior vice president, come in and say, we have a product information group. I go, they won't do it as well as I will. He goes, you sure? I go, you know what? His name was Will. I said, you know what, Will? Why don't you go ahead and ask them to just take one. I go, don't waste their time, but I want you to ask them to do one SKU. write a description of one freaking SKU and have a look at what they produce. And then I will produce it, and I am going to write a description. You have to, and I told him, Will, every single individual SKU within the family of the SKU numbers were nested inside of a primary SKU, right? It's a parent-children setup. So you have a parent item number, and then you have each individual SKU, and the parent needs a description, and each individual SKU needs a description, and there were like a dozen parent SKUs, so that means there's like, 120 individual items. Now, you can do a lot of copy and paste because there's a lot of overlap, but there were some plans and some items that were targeted to specific products, and some of them targeted to particular regions because they had certain laws. And I said, dude, they don't understand the complexity of this program. I go, it'll create problems which will affect sales. I'm writing them. Well, he goes, they have to approve them. I go, they can approve. They're going to approve them because they would come to me for information about that program. That's this guy. This guy's like, write me up my presentation. Let me know what he's going to ask. I want to see what you produce. You don't want to take away from people and their initiative. Even though you're operating on another level, you don't want to take away from that. Let them do it, but then you give it to me, and he's going to sit there in his boxers on his sunken living room pit group with the trophy wife and his Afghan dog, and sit there and be like, well, no, strike through. I like that. I'll keep that. And I'm going to add this. He knows where the business is at. He knows all of the pieces. The do person that is a good qualified person, probably the best there is, doesn't know what he knows. So he's going to go in there. He's going to take the press release. He's going to take the commentary that they gave him, the question, the Q&A, and he's going to be like, okay, good. We have good people. He's going to look at it and go, well, we have good people. This is pretty good, but strike through. Rewrite, strike through, eliminate. Okay, I'm going to add. And no, I want this position. And then if he's good, which I believe he is, he'll go back to that person and go, this was very good. Validation. These are some of the things that I changed. Here's why. Because a guy like this is always teaching his brand. It's helping people. It's educating his workforce. But he's teaching his brand. He's spreading the message of where he wants his brand to be, because that makes his life easier. He has to do less fine-tuning. Because then if they get it and the next time they produce a release, he can spend 10 minutes instead of 30 minutes rewriting that shit. So he would literally pick up a phone and go, this is very good. I read it. What is your name again? You work with so-and-so? Yeah, we've worked. Okay, great. Okay, well, you know what? This is very good. I read through it. Now, here's some things I changed. Here's why. Not your work wasn't good. Your work is good. I've already told you that. This is why. Let me tell you why I did that. Let me sell my brand vision to you. I mean, God damn it, man. God damn it. And then he says, and this is what he's taught you. He says they can take advantage of our technology. Oh, we're going to leave them alone. They all say that. That's what EA says. Think about it. Think about what EA says. They say, oh, we just let them do their thing. They're the creative folk. We just go in and help them out when they need our help, which is always. And they need our money, damn it. Okay, so he's basically telling you two things in that statement. He's telling you their technology isn't working. Again, you never say what isn't working. You say what does work. That's how you can tell what's not working. He said they have access to our technology because they're having issues getting their technology to function. Fallout 76. So he's, we're not going to do anything. He just literally said, oh, we're not going to do anything. We just own them now, but we're not going to do anything about it. He just spent $7.4 billion, not million, $1 billion to purchase this company. And well, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to look around, and then we're just going to leave after we have a cup of coffee and, you know, say, okay, bye. Invite us to the potluck. Bye. What they don't want to do is they don't want to scare the fans. They don't want to come in and go, the company is bleeding cash and they're in danger of going into bankruptcy. And before they went bankrupt, they came to us and say, please buy us. Number two, they were looking for buyers. They were looking to go IPO, or they were looking for buyers. They've been looking for buyers for a while. They are cash poor, and they got nothing in the pipe, and they got an old engine that is getting harder and harder for them to deal with. They are literally on a cliff, a financial cliff. So he's basically saying two things. One, their technology is broken. Two, we are going to allow the creative element to function, but we are going to manage the financial and corporate business elements. Because they have to. When he says we're not going to do anything, that's a misnomer, because you now own the company. You have to do their freaking taxes. You own that. That's like saying, well, I own that, but I'm not going to do anything with it. Well, who's going to pay the property tax? I don't know. I'm not using it. You have to go pay the property tax. You have to go handle the maintenance of the property. The things you have to do. He's like, oh, we're not going to do anything. I mean, unbelievable PR. They all say that. EA always says that. EA is always like, oh, you know, pandemic, we're just going to let them do what they do best and create great games for people, and we'll just be there with coffee and donuts once in a while. That's it. Meanwhile, they go in there and they say, you need to produce this many games at this certain time. If you establish a deadline, you must keep it. And if you fail to do so, or your product fails to perform, we will dissolve your studio. But Microsoft isn't going to let that happen. Of course not. That's a very big feather in their cap. He loves it. Look at this guy. This guy is ready to explode. But what I want you to notice is, look at the eyes. You see that? See that? He's been up. He's been up for 72 hours, baby. He's been up. He is a tired man. He's like, throw the makeup on my eye bags, because he just had a product launch and he just acquired ZeniMax, for God's sakes. This guy has been up for 72 hours pimping that brand, and he's going to get off stage and take a vitamin B and keep going. I'm telling you, I've been that guy.
To go build, that's just a critical flywheel for us innovating, is the feedback of the world's best creators on our platforms.
Tell me about the gaming ecosystems overall. Microsoft has spoken out against the way
huge
that
ecosystem
Apple
now
controls its app store on those lines. But how is that really different from
Look at
the
him
percentage that
pimping
Samsung
those
makes
brands,
on their
baby.
platforms?
When you get large-scale
Wow.
general compute platforms like mobile phones, people should have access to the great content and services that are out there, and we remain committed to that. There are over 3 billion people who play video games today. Many of them play on phones, and we're committed to bringing Game Pass to all mobile phones out there, including Apple phones. We'll continue the conversations, and I'm sure we'll be able to get to some resolution.
Yeah, I'm not sure that gets to the core issue of.
Yeah, he's not trying to get to your core issue, dude. He don't care. He just pimped his brand again, and he just said, we're working on iPhone. And now what that does is the more popular XPass gets on Android, Apple loves money, okay? They are going to jump on board at some point. But they want to make sure it's not Stadia. They want to make sure it's going to have the legs, which it will. And if it becomes a serious cornerstone of Android, which it absolutely will, again, your phone, you're going to start seeing phones loaded with Game Pass. That is going to be the selling point. Just wait. You're going to see mobile phone ads, Samsung, preloaded with Game Pass. You're going to get Game Pass 3 if you buy a phone from, Metro PCS or whatever. Or Boost now with free Game Pass. Dang. Bubba, let's get us a Boost phone, bruh. Get off the couch, get the dog Skeeter, let's go. I'm telling you, brother. They're going to start killing it on Android phones. Apple will come around. They're not going to come around this year. Probably not until like 2021, 2022. Sometime in that neighborhood, that is when iPhone will come around. Apple will come around. They will come around, though. They will come around. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. And if they don't, fuck them. I'll switch to Android. Ooh, I'm getting all passionate about this video.
How it's different, though. What is the core issue? I mean, 30% take? Is it how they're trying to command the way you do games in the cloud that also work through the App Store?
Look at Phil's face. Look at his face. Like, dude, I just told you what I wanted to tell you. Look at him. I mean, he knew what questions he was going to get, but he's like, look at the eyes, bro. Look at, that's the real Phil right there. That's the look of the businessman. Not the PR guy, the businessman. See, every really high-level business guy understands you have to be a show host and then a ruthless businessman to survive at that level. You have to be able to go to the garden parties and the riatas, and you have to be able to hold a drink, and you have to be able to engage people in conversation. Meanwhile, your triple-digit IQ is doing calculations in your head and reviewing analysis while you sit there and you just state these, like, oh yes, it's a beautiful riata. This is a wonderful season. We last season we were in the Exumas. Meanwhile, it's like, I mean, look at this guy's face, and you could tell he's got a little bit of a pinched face because it's fatigue. He is caffeinated and God knows what else, and he has not slept in 72 hours. I guarantee it.
Store?
Our biggest issue isn't a financial issue. Our biggest issue is that cloud game streaming apps are actually not allowed in the way that Game Pass is built for other platforms. So for us, this is about gamers having great access to the content from the creators they love on the devices they own. Play the games that you want with the community that you want to play on the...
Boom! Commercial again! This guy's like, brand. He's like, the games he's got it like boom. The games you love on the devices you own. He's just like snap. And people are out there watching this going, yeah, baby, this guy's good. Spence is good, baby.
On the devices that you have. That's our goal.
So, Phil, on that note, then, how will this affect
then they
the
throw a
launch
hottie
of
on
future games? I know that ZeniMax was developing one for PS5 exclusively. Does that stay intact, or is that going to change after this deal?
Yeah, the commitments we've already made with the gamers out there.
Now he says we, because he owns that. Again, ZeniMax and Bethesda are now Microsoft. So he doesn't say the commitments that they made in the past, we will still honor. He said, we will honor our commitments, the previously made commitments. Okay? There you go. Previously made commitments. He's like, we will honor our commitments. He's like, I own that shit. Now, he had to go to the board to get the money for the sale. He had to go to the board and get approval. He had to present to the board of directors that I want this studio. They're in trouble, but they got great IP. We know what the technical difficulties are. Here's the analysis. They've done the analysis. His engineers have already looked at Fallout 76 and said, what are they doing? And they told him they keep building on the same legacy system, and they haven't done the due diligence to either clean it up or scrap it and rebuild. They don't have the money. They don't have the will. We want them. We want them. Bethesda needed to do a massive downsize, a massive rebuild of their engine, a complete reorganization. But you can't go IPO. They tried to keep going to try and get over that hill of the IPO, and they didn't have the chops. They didn't have the chops. When you look behind the curtain, you're like, oh my God. Your engine is antiquated. You can no longer compete in this marketplace effectively without deception. All right, Phil, take it home, baby.
On the games that people know about, we will continue with those commitments. The thing this is really about is a huge investment in our Xbox community. They know that the great games coming from ZeniMax and all
there he is standing next to his stock price.
3 studios inside of Xbox. Those games will be able to come to the Xbox community. They'll come to Game Pass day and date, and people will have just an amazing collection of great games to continue to play on Xbox.
Brand.
Xbox Series X launch. I think pre-orders open tomorrow morning. You're not going to have Halo Infinite for that. How has COVID affected game availability, and how's that going to affect your marketing and your expectations around the console launch?
Yeah, with people sheltering in place, work from home, we've seen incredible engagement in the great gaming community over the last few months, and we're really proud of the way that gaming has been able to play such a pivotal role for people. But you're absolutely right. Games today are hundreds of people coming together to build these massive games, and it's important that we're conscious of the safety of our teams and the impact on production. And you're seeing some of...
They're running Doom, right? They're running Doom. Now, Doom Eternal, huge successful release. Okay. So, yeah, what did they have in the interim? They had Doom Eternal, but that's it. That's all. Is that enough to run a company? Is that enough to rebuild their engine? Is that enough? I forgot about Doom Eternal. I'm like, well... But how much of that revenue are they sharing with id? I mean, like, they own id and then Machine Games. So you got id, Machine Games, Bethesda, and ZeniMax. How are they dividing up that pie? Again, I don't know. I don't see, and I'll apologize because I forgot Doom Eternal. That was a huge release, okay? That was a moneymaker. That was well done, okay? Youngblood, shit. So, I'm just saying, I don't know if, like, Fallout 76 failed. So that was a loss. So Doom Eternal, Youngblood, I'm going to say, who knows what the profitability of that was. It was nothing exceptional. It's bargain bin at this time. Doom Eternal was good. Okay, so in 2 years, they had a failure, a break even, and one good release. And I don't know, that obviously was not enough. But what I love about this guy, that guy, what did he just say? Again, he's like, he ignored the Halo Eternal or the Halo Infinite commentary. And now you could have Machine Games start making Halo games. Oh, lordy lord! Machine Games and Halo. Oh, baby. That could be something. Because you could see Halo emulating Doom Eternal in its gameplay. Did you notice that? So, this guy is hitting up the gamers and the gaming community. Let's see if he speaks to the Halo bit.
Of that out there, but when we look at this launch and people's appetite for gaming right now, we're very bullish on how our pre-orders are going to go tomorrow. We have the most powerful console in the market. We have the most affordable console in the market.
The guy tried to rope him in with Halo Infinite, and he's like, I'm not going to talk about what I'm not doing. I'm going to talk about what I am doing, which is I have the most powerful console in the marketplace. I have the cheapest console in the marketplace. He's just like crush, crush, crush. Brand, brand. All right, let's keep going. I still haven't heard about Halo yet.
Xbox All Access that allow people to join this next generation of gaming for $24.99 a month. No upfront cost. You get a console and Game Pass. In times like this, I think that accessibility of price point and offer is really, really important.
Yeah. He never spoke about Halo Infinite. He never spoke about it. He didn't speak about it. Now, I don't know if he continued to address it, but he didn't even speak about that. He just went into a commercial. Oh yeah, you're not going to have Halo Infinite, so how do you feel about that going into this? He's like, hey, we got the most powerful console. We got the cheapest console available. You get Game Pass. You get he just destroyed. And he looks like so chill. He looks so chill. That's the key. Meanwhile, as soon as he steps off camera, the board of directors wants to talk to him about what he said. I'm telling you. Some beautiful administrator calls him up and says, "Hello, Mr. Spencer. Yes, well, the board just saw your presentation. And, we'd like 5 or 10 minutes of your time when you have an opportunity." Meanwhile, this guy hasn't slept in 72 hours. And he's going to get his happy ass onto a jet or a helicopter, whatever the hell it is, and fly right over to the board. "Yes, Mr. Spencer. What are your projections?" Love this guy. This guy lives it. He bleeds that shit. All right, this is LVA Tour. This is a lot of fun. I got really pumped up on this because watching a guy I understand where he's coming from. I understand what he's doing. I understand that he handled that. He played them like a violin. He was plug, 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 plug. You can't miss it. This guy is bleeds brand. He's brand. I'm telling you, Phil Spencer, if he sleeps, is sleeping in his bed, his eyes open up like this. And he's like, "Where's my brand at?" He reaches over, "Where's my brand at?" He has a wall TV. He has a Samsung wall next to his bed. He's like, "Where are my stats at? Where's my stock price at? Where's my software development? I want to report on the integration team at ZeniMax. I want that status in 30 minutes. It's just like, this guy is brand. This guy, and again, a lot of my predictions about Microsoft having the best generation of all time is because of this guy. Is because of that guy. That guy is a jocular, happy, affable, ruthless bastard. That guy is going to destroy. He is going to wreck it. He is wrecking it, and he always does the T-shirt with the jacket. He, because he's dealing with a youth. He understands he's dealing with a youth market. So whenever he's pimping Xbox, it's always like a jacket and a T-shirt and I'm like, yeah, I'm a middle-aged guy, but I'm like chill as shit. And I have a catamaran that my trophy wife and I like go on weekends when I have to act like I don't want to think about my brand. I have to act like I don't. See, the thing about this, you think these guys are like burnout, and sometimes, yeah, you do burn out. But it's not a spiritual limitation like your mental will. It's a physical limitation, like your body just starts saying, you better take some downtime or I'm going to throw you in a hospital or something like that. You have to go relax. You have to go relax. It's not you don't even want to. You think about, well, if I'm away from my brand for a day or two, I'm not going to be getting my real-time updates, or I'm not going to be able to facilitate that next project or that next initiative, or I'm going to have to unplug for a couple of days and recharge, and then I'm gonna have to come back, and I'm gonna have to make up that ground. You know, it's like, yeah, you think like that. You're like, oh my God, if I take a week, I mean, like sometimes, like I got to tell you, when I was at home shopping, I had all of my vacation, and it accrued. In my position, you accrued it. So I had something like 6 or 7 weeks of vacation that I never took. At the end of my career there, and I got headhunted by another company, I was at the end of it, and I put in my resignation, which was a 2-week resignation. They tried to get me to give them 30 days. I said I won't. And I said, guess what? Here's more bad news. I want to take at least 2 weeks of the vacation that you owe me. And they're like, Rob, that's highly irregular. We don't typically do that. I go, yeah, I understand, but you're going to do it now. I spoke with the HR guy. Actually, the HR director came over and talked to me. He's like, so you want to take your vacation as your 2 weeks notice? I go, yeah. Well, we don't usually do that. And I'm like, well, I mean, again, I've got my offer. I'm like, I've got my offer. I mean, I want to try and be good, but he's like, you're supposed to like work your last 2 weeks. Like, well, I go, I'm going to be leaving behind like 5 or 6 weeks of vacation. I want to take 2 weeks vacation before I start my new job. And he's like, let me see what I can do. And guess what? I got my 2 weeks vacation. So my 2 weeks notice was 2 weeks of vacation, baby. Yeah. And then I get like a $20,000 raise and a promotion at the new job. And I was doing trade shows in Vegas and having a freaking ball, baby. I loved it. All right. This has been LBO Tour of the Fancy Action Now for the